Good day everyone! So, ang itatakal po natin is another type of flowchart which is system flowchart. So, ano nga po ba yung system flowchart? So, it portrays the computer aspect of the system. They depicts the relationship between input data, transaction files, computer program, master files, and output report produced by the system. It also describes the type of media being used in a system, such as magnetic tape, magnetic disk, and terminal. The difference between document flowchart and system flowchart reflects the dichotomy that traditionally existed between the manual and computer aspect of an information system. So today, the human-machine interface is far more fluid than it was in the past. For example, yung mga transaction po ngayon is ma-entered na sa system ng direkta ng end user. So yung pag-process ng user is mas mabilis na at real time gamit ang computer. At yung mga output ay madedelivered na din ng user gamit ang terminal kaysa sa mga paper reports. Dito naman po makikita natin yung mga symbol na ginagamit sa system flowchart. So yung unang figure is, ang tawag po dun ay hard copy, which is dun po yung documents and output. Yung rectangle shape naman po is the computer process. Dun naman po nag-run yung program. Tapos po yung cylinder shape is the direct access storage. Yung nasa baba naman po is magnetic tape, and yung ito naman po is terminal and or output device. Tapos po yung arrow is yung process flow, and itong zigzag na symbol is yun yung real-time connection. Tapos itong last ay video display device. Dito naman po tayo sa layout of physical area of activity ng system flowchart. So the flowcharting process begins by creating a template that depicts the area of activity similar to document flowchart. So kagaya rin po siya ng template ng document flowchart, pero ang pinagkaiba lang po is yung system flowchart is ang ginagamit na po nating department dun ay computer operation, at yung ginamit po natin kanina sa documentation flowchart is credit department. Next slide is transcribe the written facts into visual format. So the customer's order, and the file symbol in this flowchart are still the same. So the sales clerk activity is now automated, and the manual process symbol has been replaced with a computer terminal symbol. The arrowhead on the flowchart line points in the direction of edit and credit check program. We now examine the use of system flowchart to represent a system that includes both manual and computer process. So, the symbol set used here is manggagaling pa rin po dun sa documentation flowchart and also sa system flowchart symbol. So, again, yung our example po is based pa rin po dun sa sales order system. Number 1. A clerk in the sales department receive a customer's order by mail and enter the information into a computer terminal that is attached to a computer program in the computer department. So makikita nyo po sa part na to yung information po na galing sa computer terminal is finorward po sa computer operation department. Next step, a computer program edits the transaction, checks the customer's credit by referencing a credit history file, and produces a transaction file of sales order. So dito, makikita nyo sa part na computer operation department yung edit and credit check, which is yun yung computer process. So, di ba kanina dun sa chart ni Laika, sa credit department, meron tayong credit approval. Pero syempre, dun sa credit approval, it may be automatic na i-check na lang natin from credit history file kung meron ba itong history of non-payments, or may credit limit na ba ito, or baka wala pa sa credit history, so kailangan natin itong i-process. Pero in terms of computer operation, ay i-check niya from credit history para ma-approve yung sales order. Step 3. The sales order transaction file is then processed by an update program that posts the transaction to AR and inventory file. Dito naman sa part na yung sales order na po is na-process na sa update program at pinost na po siya sa AR file and inventory file. Finally, the update program produces 3 paper copies of the sales order. So, makikita nyo yung sales order 1, 2, and 3. So, yung copy 1 is sinend po siya sa warehouse and yung copies 2 and 3 is sinend po siya sa shipping department. The warehouse clerk picks the product from the shelves and record the transfer in the stock records and send the product and copy 1 to the shipping department. The shipping department receives copy 1 and the goods from warehouse attaches copy 1 as packing slip and ship to the customer. Finally, the clerks file copies 2 and 3 in the shipping department. So dito, pinapakita na yung finished system flowchart showing all facts translated into visual symbols. The next topic is computer-based accounting system. So, when we're talking computer-based accounting system, makaka-categorize po natin siya into 2 broad classes. We have the batch system and real-time system. So, sa madaling salita, when we're talking batch system, is by batch po yung pag-process ng mga transaction. At pag real-time naman po is real-time po yung pag-process ng transaction. So, example po sa real-time is pagbili po ng ticket and sa mga reservation po is yun po yung mga napaprocess kagad. A number of alternative configuration exists within each of these classes. System designer base their configuration choices on a variety of consideration. So, the ones who are in the process are the ones who are designing, syempre. Of course, with the collaboration sa mga decision makers and the trade-off between the cost and benefits. So, especially yung benefits po nito is yun yung magmamatter kung gagamitin po ba is yung processing or real-time. Kasi baka mamaya hindi fit in dun sa transaction yung kung ang gagamitin po ba natin is yung batch processing or real-time processing. Let's now talk about the characteristics difference between batch and real-time processing. Dito muna tayo sa information time frame. Under the distinguishing feature sa batch system, there is a lag exists between the time when the economic events occur and when it is recorded. For example po nito is ito yung mga transaction na ipina-process in the end of the day. So, halimbawa po is yung payroll ng mga manggagawa. Yung pagpapasahod po nila ay every quincenas po or in the end of the month. Unlike pagdating sa real-time, processing take place when the economic event occurs. So, yung example naman po dito is yung mga kunwari sa airline reservation or pagbili ng airplane ticket. Pagdating naman sa resources for batch processing, generally fewer resources in terms of hardware, programming, training are required. Unlike pag real-time naman, more on siya sa resources are required than for batch processing. Kasi pag real-time system, mas madaming kailangan in terms of computing power kasi dapat real-time transaction mangyayari. Dapat naka-open online yung system mo kahit walang transaction because hindi naman natin masasabi kung kailan mangyayari yung actual transaction. So, dapat laging open yung ating system. Next is operational efficiency. Batch system certain records are processed after the event to avoid operational delays. In real time, all records pertaining to the event are processed immediately naman. Dito naman po sa part na to is nagdagdag lang po ako ng further discussion for the difference between batch and real-time processing, data processing approaches. So, not all modern organizations use entirely modern information. Some firms employ legacy system for certain aspect of their data processing. When legacy systems are used to process financially significant transactions, auditors need to know how to evaluate and test them. So, yung modern system characteristics tends to be client-server based and process transaction in real time. While this is the trend in most organizations, so please take note that many modern systems are mainframe based and use batch processing. Unlike their predecessors, modern systems stores transaction and master files in relational database table. A major advantage of database storage is the degree of process integration and the data sharing that can be achieved. While legacy system characteristics mainframe-based application, they're also a batch-oriented. Early legacy system use flat for data storage. Later legacy system use hierarchical and network databases. And lastly, data storage system promotes a single user environment that discourages information integration. Updating master files from transaction. The primary key, the unique identifier for the inventory file is inventory number. The primary key for account receivable is account number. Notice that the record instruction for sales order file can contain a primary key, sales order number, and two secondary key fields, account number and inventory number. So, meron po ako ditong example ng update procedure and it involves here the following steps. So, dito sa figure na ito is yung record instruction for sales, inventory, and account receivable file. So, yung una, a sales order record is read by the system. Then, number 2, account number is used to search the AR master file and retrieves the corresponding AR records. 3. The AR update procedures calculate the new customer's balance by adding the value stored in the invoice amount field of the sales order record to the current balance field in the AR master records. Next is inventory number is used to search for the corresponding records in the inventory master file. 5. The inventory update program reduces inventory levels by deducting the quantity sold value in a transaction record from a quantity on hand field value in the inventory record. Lastly, a new sales order record is read and the process is repeated.